So I'm sure most of you have heard about the Lee Sin nerfs and may have seen some of the recent changes Riot has made in patch 4.4, and a lot of you are probably scratching your heads at some of them. Why did Riot make Barrier look exactly like Kale's ultimate, for instance? But today I want to talk to you all about why I'm scared for some of these changes, and why I think the Lee Sin changes in particular are a little bit misguided. Lee may be unbalanced in certain ways, a player could argue. He's basically guaranteed first blood at level 2 against players who aren't aware of his strengths, but Riot is making some shady decisions here. When you talk about a game that's competitive, a game being played as a sport, esport, or whatever, one of the things I think you should talk about is differentiation. It's awesome to watch an athletic sport and see who's more adept at performing the same basic task, but what's super cool about esports is the ability to differentiate between different players. Seeing two separate players play the same character in a game, and seeing the different playstyles they have based around their personalities and skill level, and seeing which one wins out in the end. Being able to say, I'm the best Aurelia in the world, not because I'm the most proficient at using one combo, but because I know how to use her abilities in a way that allows me to excel in my specific playstyle, whether I want to max E so I can never die in lane and just farm till late game, or I want to max W for damage and utilize my Q to do all these neat tricks. Differentiating yourself from one player to the next is one of the coolest things about esports, whether it's who you play, how you play them, or how well you can. Lee Sin was the exact same way. Even if he didn't have that much to differentiate him from one pro to the next, he was one of the few champions who you could tell a bad player from a good one just by watching their play and seeing all the different things that they could do based on how skillful, confident, and crazy they were. Riot seems to be throwing all that out the window with changes like these though. Firstly, they seem to have a problem with complex champions. Riot Gnome was quoted on Reddit saying, "From a designer's standpoint, there's no world in which Lee Sin is balanced," when talking about his large arsenal of skills, and others are pointing out that other champions are mechanically overloaded as well. Guess what? I think they have issues too. Lee Sin may be strong from all his abilities, but you know what? He's fun as hell. Mechanically overloaded champions aren't overpowered, they bring variety to the game. A champion that has movement, CC, lifesteal, and a displacement shouldn't be looked at as bad design unless he's breaking the game inherently, which Lee Sin, while he may have been strong, never really did. Adding things like movements, displacements, and multiple combos on individual champions allows for variety in play, which helps give depth to individual characters. But that's not even what I'm most upset about, actually. What really grinds my gears is the fact that they're gearing Lee to be weaker early game and stronger late game. Why? Why are so many efforts being made towards making every single champion scale the exact same throughout the game? Champion select shouldn't just be about banning OP champions in solo queue, it should be about choosing if you want to go for the early win by playing Renekton top lane or hold out till late game with Jax. Two champions, by the way, who were considered for changes in the past 4 months to even out their scaling and make them more like everyone else. You can balance a game by making every champion similar to every other in terms of scaling abilities and design, everyone with a Q that resets auto attacks, a revive ability, a W that has a defensive shield, but that's just flat out not as fun as having some champions with abilities like no other, or combinations that allow for creative play. Now to be fair, Riot isn't changing Lee Sin's kit around, they aren't reworking him or doing anything crazy like that, but the fact that they do have a problem with his kit is a little bit worrisome. I'm no champion designer or balance tester, and I don't want to be Mr. Doom and Gloom when Riot has been taking chances on new things like new champions with new abilities such as Yasuo, but there's a ton of stuff that worries me with some of these recent changes as a seasoned player, and I think Skarner is actually the perfect example. Skarner was different from everyone else. His perma-slow Q may have not been that fun to play against, and it may have been anti-fun or whatever, but it allowed him to punish players in a way that no other champion could. He was on the precipice of becoming a viable niche jungler, then Riot gives him a rework that not many people asked for. He still has the same basic abilities, but with all the changes he doesn't feel unique. Instead of saying, I'm gonna pick Skarner because of his perma-slow and awesome punish potential, there's no reason to pick him since so many other champions do exactly what he does but better. He's just another champion with a Q that gives a little extra damage, one slow to help him gank, and a W with a defensive shield. Some of these changes aren't the end of the world. They may be frustrating to deal with and will upset some players, but I think all we should do is make sure Riot doesn't have iffy motives behind them. League is a game that's based around team play more than anything else, and the focus behind design will probably never be on the individual, but creative, diverse, and intricate champions only make the game better. Better from a spectator's point, and definitely better from a player's. Anyway, those are just my opinions. Feel free to share your own with me in the comments. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm actually going to be streaming my Plat 1 promos right now and having a little chill day over on my stream, maybe speedrunning some Bastion or playing Smash or having a discussion with you guys about this topic when I'm done with my promos. If you're interested in watching, there's a link in the description. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, whether you agreed or disagreed with me. Thank you very much for watching either way. Good luck in solo queue and have a wonderful day.